Okay. Yep. So for those of you who are watching this after the fact, after we film it, hello from the past here, I guess. It's 5:07 on a Tuesday, so that means another episode of the Wolves Coffee Hour. We're coming at you with episode 7, and that means we've got wrestling. We've made it through 6. I said it last time, but we've made it through 6 without saying anything dumb enough for them to pull the plug. So another successful week. We'll introduce the guys here in a minute, but here with co-host Austin Heeb. Austin, how you doing today?
Good. Hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, and enjoying another Wolves Coffee Hour.
It's good. Austin with coming in hot with a fresh haircut today, and I'm trying to face the camera. You can't see it, but kind of got like a mullet kind of ducktail going on. So keeping that going a little bit. But without any further ado, we got.
I feel like if we're going to talk about haircuts, we need to talk about the most important haircut that's happened so far. Adam, would you like to tell everyone what's going on?
Yeah, it's honestly kind of hard to talk about. So thanks for bringing that up. As many of you probably know, I was famous for my mustache. It was better than anyone on the show today, that's for sure. But I tried to trim it. And I flew a little too close to the sun and damaged it beyond repair. So unfortunately, RIP, the mustache, no longer with us. But speaking of segues, we'll introduce the other guy with a mustache here today. We got head coach Rocky Burkett coming into his 6th or 7th year at Northern? 6th.
Going into 6, yeah. Finished the 5th, yep.
Okay. And then we got a couple wrestlers here with us: Wyatt Turnquist, Caden Moore, Landen Fischer, and Marcus Placide. How are you doing today, guys?
I'm good.
Doing good.
Good.
Okay. Well, we're going to start it off. We're going to go around the horn here, just kind of get what you guys are up to. What are you watching on TV? Any sports reruns? Kind of what's going on in your life. And we'll go start it off with Wyatt. What have you been up to? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging out in Aberdeen, getting workouts in. Hanging out with the guys, waiting to start work. I'm not really watching anything on Netflix right now, but I just finished All-American, so I'm looking for my next show to watch.
Okay. And you're trying to grow a mustache, inspired by your head coach here, or what started that?
I think I kind of inspired him, actually, because he did not have that when I saw him.
Yeah.
And I did. So.
Give us a close-up, because I hate to say it. I can't really see it, though.
No, I just need better lighting. This lighting's not doing
better lighting.
Look at that.
Yeah. Hey, it's windy outside here in Aberdeen. Careful if you walk outside, it's going to fall off. So be careful of that there.
That one.
That's weak. That's weak. Next up, Marcus, what's going on in your world?
Not much. I'm just back home in Minneapolis. We're still under lockdown, so all the gyms, wrestling rooms are closed. So all I can really do is just go on runs, get bodyweight workouts in. But yeah, I'm just waiting until they open up again, which is hopefully soon. But not watching anything on Netflix, just playing a lot of Call of Duty. Yeah, so I'm just fine.
What, you guys don't watch? I have such a hard time believe that neither of you watch any Netflix. You got nothing, no HBO, no Hulu.
I haven't watched a single episode of Tiger King. Haven't watched.
That's fair.
Any of that stuff.
Shame.
Yeah.
But nothing? Work with me here. You've been watching nothing on TV?
I'm more of a YouTube guy.
YouTube guy? Okay. What do you watch on YouTube then? Like stream video games, or what do you got?
Like stream video games, or like rappers like in the studio making their songs and stuff. Like it's pretty cool.
Okay. Next up, Caden, what's going on in your world? Besides, is that a balloon birthday party, or what's going on?
This Saturday is my birthday, so my mom has basically destroyed my apartment with a whole bunch of birthday festivities stuff. So
hey, yeah. Well, happy early birthday!
Thank you.
You're turning what?
21.
21.
Yeah. No, I've just been I've been working at the ranch and the feedlot most of the beginning of this year, and we have like, we don't have like a weight room or anything like that, so we have out in a shed west of town, we have like a little 2-place mat where me and some kids go and wrestle like every other day, which is really nice. And as far as shows, me and my dad have been watching The Last Dance, and that's just it's one of those motivating things I've ever seen in my life. So it's a pretty interesting deal.
So maybe we can ask the group after you're kind of done giving us the lowdown, but do you think that him being maybe a jerk or a kind of a tyrant to his team is okay since they won? Do the ends justify the means there?
Yeah, you can in like this, whatever, the latest episode, he obviously got upset. He had to cut his take or whatever because he obviously really cared about his teammates, but he knew that his teammates are happy when they won, so he wanted to give them everything he could, and he gave them the best that he could because he knows the highest standard that needed to be set. So obviously being a rough teammate is a tough deal. He obviously wishes it could have gone different, but I mean, if you got to do what you got to do to win, and sometimes it's you got to take the hard ones.
I know Austin likes asking questions about The Last Dance, so we'll maybe get back to people on that question. But next up, we got head coach Rocky. What have you been up to? You looks like you've been kind of hitting the mat a little bit. Like, who you wrestling? Ryder?
I just thought I'd come in prepared today. Vision Quest style and Coach Rada. If I don't know if you know that, Adam, at all. If it's kind of a cult classic. Not probably the greatest wrestling movie ever, but it got a lot of people started with wrestling and introduced into it. So Coach Rada used to rock the.
Before we get what you're up to, what is the best wrestling movie of all time?
I mean, a lot of people would probably say Vision Quest, but I don't know, Flo kind of has some good films now, and I'd probably go with Terry. It's probably my favorite one. See that.
I'm gonna defer to Austin on that.
That's a whole different thing.
He's such an Iowa homer. He's such an Iowa homer.
I know. The two Gopher fans would definitely disagree with me. So, but no, other than that, just been hanging out at home, just wrangling 3 little kids and trying to be a good homeschool teacher and keep track of them and try to keep things moving forward. We can't. Everyone's in lockdown, so we got to do what we got to do to get better. And last week, I know Coach Andrade, he sent out a challenge to these guys, a bodyweight challenge. So I took part in that, and that was terrible. And I'm still sore. I can't lift my arms up or bend my legs very much, but I completed it.
What was the bodyweight challenge? Was it like a whole circuit or just one thing, an endurance thing?
You had to lift 150,000 pounds in less than an hour of your body weight. So for me, it's 150,000 divided by 165. So it was 910 reps, and it had to be pull-ups, push-ups, and squats, body weight stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, you had to do it less than an hour. So I got mine in 35 minutes. I know Wyatt.
So you're
34.
34.
But it was absolutely terrible.
You're getting, you're getting jacked. You probably had to brush up on your Common Core math, probably a little bit different than when you did it in school. So you're getting smarter and you're getting stronger, and that's kind of really all you can ask for at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we were gonna expect these guys to do it, why not go out and challenge ourselves too? So I figured I need to get off my duck or something.
We keep coming back to it, but that's another thing that MJ said during that documentary. He said, I didn't ask these guys to do anything that I didn't do. There were a few expletives sprinkled in there that I can't give you the full experience, but the message is the same there. Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think he's that intense with his teammates. I thought, when they're talking about, I've always heard about him punching Steve Kerr, and I thought they were going to get in this huge fight. Well, they just got a little tussle in practice. That happens all the time.
That's a Tuesday in a wrestling room.
Yeah, it gets a little heated in there sometimes. You got to push each other a little bit. And
yeah.
But going back to what Caden said, I thought it was pretty awesome. He had to stop filming because he was so fired up. It meant so much to him. And dude, he had to have him shut the cameras off because he got emotional about how much it meant to him to win.
Yeah. We're going to get to Landen last year, but I think an interesting thing about what you just said is, all the stuff they covered, he didn't cry when he was talking about the championships. He didn't even cry when they talked about his late father, and the fact that the emotional breakdown occurred with how he's perceived amongst his peers was the highest emotional point of the series thus far. I thought that was notable for sure, right? Just because that's, something obviously he cares deeply about. Before we okay, Austin, what do you got?
Okay, before we go to Land and see what he's up to, since we're on The Last Dance, I know where Caden stands. I think I know where Rocky stands. I need to know if anybody else agrees that it's just a glorified Michael Jordan puff piece, that he's throwing it out there to basically promote himself. Is anybody on that team? Or am I on an island by myself here?
I think it's kind of a coincidence of the timing of when Jordan approved the footage right after LeBron came back from 3-1. So I'm kind of on that with you.
Okay. All right, that's all. That's all. Well, it's all Last Dance will do. I won't bring it up again. I needed to see where everyone else was with this, or if I was just by myself.
Well, and the reality of it is he's not going to let himself look bad is the bottom line.
Exactly.
If he has approval rights and the brand of Jordan is involved, he's got a multi-million-dollar business on the line, and with it that's tied directly to his image. So yeah, I get why they might be hyping him up a little bit. But yeah. Okay, before we keep getting derailed to The Last Dance, Landen, give us a rundown on what you got going on lately.
Yep, I'm just here in Rapid City, and things are actually pretty much up and running in Rapid. So I've been in at the Black Hills Wrestling Academy, working out and wrestling lately. So things are being pretty back to normal, I guess, here. Pretty busy in town. I was pretty excited to watch UFC 247 or 49 on Saturday. So that's pretty much what I've been up to.
What were you most excited about the most recent UFC card?
The main event was pretty crazy, Gaethje and Ferguson, but I wanted to see Cejudo versus Cruz. I want to see how that ended up.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy that continues to scare me, I lose sleep thinking about how hard Francis Ngannou can punch. It's just it's a just murder fists. That guy is a scary human being.
It's not fun to watch him hit people, honestly.
I'll never have to fight him, so thank God. I've never been in a fight, period. So I think I'm past that stage of my life where I'm going to get in a scrap, unless I walk into the wrestling room one day and start talking trash. Before we get into the next segment, Landen, what kind of hair product do you use? You got a lot of height on that bad boy. So what are we working with here?
Water. Right
Gel?
now, I don't have anything in it. Usually I put gel in it, but not right now.
Just it's all natural.
Yeah, just brush it back,
If I played hockey, I would say it's good flow. Maybe I don't know. I lost track of the lingo a long time ago. We kind of got a quick rundown of where everyone's at. It's good stuff. And now we're gonna move on to hot takes. I know not everyone has one, but let's see if we can argue a little bit. Who's got one? I think Marcus, you wanna kick us off?
Okay, so I probably just say this mostly because of Caden Moore, but I think that Cowboys boots should only be worn on the ranch or where there's mud under them. At school.
Does he wear them a lot outside, not on a ranch?
When we're going out doing stuff, he'll throw them on, and he just doesn't go with the whole vibe of the whole group. So.
But he did just say that he works on a ranch, so I feel like he has some right. But let's hear Caden's take on this.
True.
The whole point of not just because I wear cowboy boots is not supposed to represent anything or anything like that. The only reason I wear cowboy boots all the time is because they're probably one of the most comfortable pairs of shoes I've ever owned in my life. They are just a pivotal thing. They're just amazing. So, you guys don't understand.
That's my. Marcus, have you ever worn cowboy boots? Is my only question.
Cowboy boots.
No, and I will say, what had I for the first 27 years of my life? And my wife grew up on a ranch, and it was a really muddy fair 2 years ago, and there was an extra pair of cowboy boots they brought me, and I will agree with Caden, they are extremely comfortable. I was big fan. I was a big fan. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
To me, I just versatile. I mean, you can wear them to work. You can wear them to school. You can wear them to church. I mean, the only thing you can't do, you can't run. I mean, if you want to run in them, you can. But, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with those boots that you can't do with other shoes, man. I mean,
I don't see guys wearing Gucci flip-flops, out in the fields or anything like that. And then you don't see any of that.
Yeah, I think they do other things in Gucci flip-flops, but so do you have like a work pair and like a going out pair then?
Yeah. So I have one specific pair that I usually save for like weddings, like meetings or anything like that, and then I have another pair that I use just for field work, anything like that, because you can't have enough of them. I wish I had like 4 or 5 pairs. But
Marcus, I'm with you. I don't own a pair, believe it or not. I know I come off as a guy who probably owns a lot of cowboy boots. I don't. So it's hard for me to chime in on this, but I'm with you, Marcus, just out of principle, because I can't speak on it since I haven't worn them. So that's where I'm at.
I'll wear some if Caden gets me some.
You gotta come out and we're gonna work cows together, and then we'll get you some cowboy boots. You gotta earn them first.
Yeah, one thing people forget is Austin is kind of a under the radar rancher. He does some cattle stuff on the side,
like super under the radar. Like basically don't do it.
He does collegiate athletic administration and ranching, the classic tried and true combo. Everyone knows it. Okay. Does anyone else have another hot take? I know we had at least one more. Wyatt, make it a good one. I'm ready to argue.
I'm coming at Rocky with this one, and I want to say the WWE is not entertaining and it's fake.
I would maybe argue that in today's WWE, you're probably right, but like back in like late 90s, not even a chance, man. Like if you heard the glass breaking and all of a sudden Stone Cold Steve Austin ran out, like you got chills running down your spine, man, because you knew it was going to be a battle. Or The Rock comes out and starts calling people jabronis. Like, you can't tell me that's not entertainment, man.
I still call people that.
That launched his. I mean, we even say jabroni on Facebook Live, but for coffee hour.
Is it bad?
I don't know.
But I've been calling people that. I call people that a lot, so I hope it's not bad. I'm just walking around just like swearing at people. Hopefully not.
I mean, they did say it on cable TV. So USA on Monday Night Raw, he would say it all the time. But, I mean, those guys were entertainment. I mean, if you would watch The Undertaker come out with Paul Bear in his intro and, like, his eyes roll back in the back of his head, and that didn't get, like, 15,000 people on their feet screaming. I mean, that's the whole – that's entertainment.
Rocky, how's it entertainment if they know who's going to win?
They know. We don't, though. Yeah,
but there's no – competition in it. Come up with a new name because it's not wrestling.
But Marcus, just because a movie has a set outcome doesn't mean it's not entertaining. Yeah. Just because the outcome is defined before you watch it doesn't mean that it's.
You're considering I never knew, and there's competition, but there's no competition in that.
Yeah, I never knew who was going to win those matches.
Well, something can be fake and good, like Wyatt's mustache is fake, but it's still good.
That is cold.
I like it. Well, one thing I would say, though, is they consistently sell out arenas. Like anytime you see it on TV, packed house, which cannot be said, for every event. So, I mean, I'm biased because I grew up watching a little bit of, WWE. So I'm pro. I say it's entertaining, but one man's opinion here.
Yeah.
We got a quick question, Adam.
Okay.
Ben Root has a question for Caden. Wants to know if your leisure boots are studded.
Yes, they are actually.
Okay. Asked and answered.
What does that even mean?
That's what I'm wondering.
Decoratory kind of thing is what I would call it. I don't know. Pretty much.
Like, do you have because they make ostrich skin boots, they get wild with the stuff they make it out of. So
Pivotal One. That's actually a pair that I really, really want. You're
not baller enough yet.
There's actually some ranchers in Nebraska that actually raise ostriches, and
just for that.
South. I know there's there used to be one west of town at Atkinson. They used to have an ostrich farm out there, and one of the ranchers I work with now, he actually wanted to raise ostriches, but it's just. It takes a lot of facilities to raise them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been saying, I always am telling people how much facilities it takes to raise ostriches, and no one believes me. So I appreciate you bringing that up. I think Austin has a hot take in his back pocket. But does anyone else before we move on here from WWE/Ostrich Farms? Austin, you got the green light there, boss.
Okay, so this kind of goes back to, I know a couple weeks ago I mentioned how one of my hot takes was I want to see where the group stands with this. How do you guys feel about Nickelback? Do you think they get overly criticized? I think they're not bad. I don't know where this hate came from.
I think it's one of those things where go ahead, Caden.
Rock or country. They need to figure out which genre they are. They're either trying to fill the country vibe or the rock vibe.
Okay.
Why can't you be both?
This week's, but so that was that hot take. I won't go too much. This one is, I think Joe Buck is actually a very good play-by-play announcer. And he also gets ripped on.
Yeah, I agree.
Any disagreements?
I think him and Troy Aikman are the best. Like, I don't like Tony Romo. I mean, Tony Romo's all right and Jim Nantz, but like I think Joe Buck and Aikman are the best for football.
You got to give it to Buck on the versatility, being able to do baseball and football is quite the feat at that level. You know, especially like late season, he's sometimes doing both within the same week. But you guys are forgetting the GOAT, Chris Collinsworth, baby, the all-time best.
And Booger.
Yeah. Al Michaels.
Yeah, Collinsworth, it's the best. Hey, every time you watch an NFL game with Collinsworth, he just does this. And he's just like, no one's paying attention. And he just like slides in at full speed into the camera. And then the Collinsworth slide. It's unreal. It's electric. Watch out for it next time. But yeah, I'm on board with Joe Buck, Austin. I'm good with that.
All right.
Who's the worst? Who's the worst of all time?
Booger's. I know he's not a play-by-play guy, but Booger's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. Okay. Well, we got another question coming in right here before we move on to our next segment. And you guys probably all know who this is, a guy by the name of Ben Fichter. So he says, would Rocky make the singlet, mustache, and polo a dual day fit? So you're gonna rock this out match 1 next year?
I think NCAA rules I at least have to wear khakis with it, so I have to put.
Is that a rule?
Yeah.
You have to wear khakis?
Oh yeah. Back in the day, like coaches used to roll up to like open tournaments in their Wranglers and cowboy boots. I mean, so like now
those are the days.
Yeah, now they make us be a
and
little
the coaches,
bit more professional and wear at least khakis.
Yeah, and if it's like a nice tournament, you wear the ostrich skins to flex on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to let them know who's boss.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's our last question from Facebook here, at least for the moment. So the next segment, it's a game. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys a logo or a mascot, and you guys are going to guess what the name of it is. Now, it could be baseball, basketball, it can be any sport. Don't necessarily worry about the sport. Just guess what it's called, right? Does that make sense? Everyone got it? And I would be shocked if any of you got any of these. So we're going to go around the horn, and I'll ask each of you individually what you think it is. So, Ashley, if you're listening, give us a mascot here.
We name the mascot? Is that what we're doing? Name it?
Yep. So I'll give you a hint. This is a mascot from a AAA baseball team. What do you think their team name is?
I think someone's probably going to get this.
We're going to start with Marcus.
I've seen this before, but I don't remember what it is.
This is a real team. This logo is on apparel, and people buy it.
You've seen this before? This is a real thing?
Yeah. It was in MLB.
This is real, yeah.
For like the minors and stuff. Yeah.
Marcus, any guesses?
No, I have no guesses.
That's okay. Caden, what do you got for us? Give me something.
Marauders. The Marauders.
The Marauders.
I have no idea.
Rocky, any guesses? We got the Marauders.
The Bam Bam Babies.
The Bam Bam Babies. Okay. Who we got next here? Wyatt, give me a guess.
I would say the Kings just because of Crown.
The Kings? Okay. And Austin knows it, so we'll skip him. Landen, what do you got?
It just looks like a king baby. I don't know.
King baby.
So you got the Marauders, the Bam Bam Babies, and the King Babies. This one is the New Orleans Baby Cakes. It's a AAA baseball team, the Baby Cakes. So we're 0 for 1, but that's okay. We got another one coming up here, and I don't know which one's next, so we'll see what Ashley's got for us. And spoiler, most of these are triple and double A baseball teams. This one is not. This one is a real, I'll give you a hint. This is the mascot of an actual college. So like that face is on t-shirts. Like this is their athletic department like logo, not to slander them if someone from there is watching, but we'll go reverse order. Landen, any guesses?
I couldn't even give you a guess. I don't even know what that looks like.
Give me something.
I don't
Rocky?
Me? I'm pretty sure it's St. Louis University, but I have no idea what their mascot is. I'm going to say the white.
That is correct.
The white goblins.
The White Goblins. You got the university right. So we're going to count this one as a win. Who's left here? We got Marcus and Caden left here.
I got the answer. I know this.
Do you actually?
Yep.
Oh, let Caden go first then here.
Is it a ghost? The St. Louis Ghosts? I don't know.
St. Louis Ghosts? Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Why? Do you actually know what it is?
It's Phantoms.
It's the Billikens.
How do you know that?
Look at the top left. Look at the top left corner.
Look at the top left.
You're ruining it. You're ruining it. Well, we'll do the last one, but it's going to have to be by the honor code here because, yeah, spoiler, you can see it. But we'll go to the last one here, and we'll see if you guys don't cheat. But, this is honor code. Your coach is watching here.
I would cheat.
Find a way.
Okay, there you go.
No cheating on this one.
No cheating. Okay. We're going to start with Wyatt. We're going to work our way down here. Who you got? What do you got, Wyatt?
I don't even know. It looks like a shrub. I'm going to go with the
Shrub.
tree.
The shrubs? Okay.
But I don't think that's right.
Kind of like
fighting
kind of like a
Brussels sprouts.
Stanford kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Caden?
Brussels sprout.
I like it.
Okay. And next, who do we got? Rocky?
I was going to say Brussels sprouts too, but or I could be like the fighting cabbages. I don't know.
Cabbages, Brussels sprouts. Okay. Who's left here? Give me a guess.
I'm going to go with the Sprouts as well.
The Sprouts?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay. Well, this one is the Scottsdale Community College Artichokes.
Oh. That was
And we actually, now that we figured out a way for you guys to not cheat, we got one more here, and this is my favorite one. So we'll see if you guys can get this last one. Give it a minute. This is the best one for sure, by far. Okay. Landen, you're up. What do you got?
Looks like a fighting horse.
Fighting horse. Okay. Marcus?
The Fighting Steeds.
Horse, steed. Okay. Wyatt and Caden, what do you got?
I'll say the boxing Broncos.
Boxing. Okay. That I actually like that. It's not right, but they should change it to that.
Fighting Stangs.
Fighting Stanks. Okay. Well, I think we got a guess from everyone. This is a AA affiliate of the Mets, the Rumble Ponies.
Some of those answers were better than the Rumble Ponies, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game with those AAA teams, or double A or whatever. They kind of got to stir up interest, whatever. But with that, we're going to kind of switch gears here. Austin's got some individual questions for you guys, so we will move on from the mascot quiz here. Austin, take it away.
All right. We'll start with Wyatt. So, Wyatt, you won a state title your senior year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was the transition like for you going into Division II college wrestling, a redshirt season, the open tournaments you wrestled and stuff? What was the biggest difference you saw between your senior year of high school and your freshman year of college?
I'd probably have to say the intensity level, not only of just like the practice room, but also competition at the opens. I just feel like you can't take anyone lightly at the college level. It'd be the big thing.
When would you say that doing a little Greco, style wrestling with Zeke in the room has helped?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to remember this, but it helped. It helped my confidence, if anything.
Want to tell us the story about this?
Yeah, so the week of Christmas break, me and Zeke just randomly started doing Greco matches, like way before practice. We'd like come in 30 minutes and just wrestle. And I think he won like probably the first 3 or 4 we did, but nobody watched at all. And then it was the day before Christmas break. I don't even remember what happened. I remember I'm up 4, and all of a sudden we gain like a crowd. The whole team's watching around the circle. Tries to hit a duck under on me. Arm drag, get behind him. Send him for 5. Tech fall him. Never wrestle him again in Greco.
I like it. That's a good one to go out on. Don't give him another chance.
Yeah, I'm ending on top.
God, that's awesome. All right, Landen. So you wrestled for a perennially really good high school, Rev C. Stevens.
Yeah.
Who did you were there any high schoolers when you were growing up in youth wrestling in middle school that you kind of watched and modeled after or wanted to be like, the Claprots, the Jensens, anything like that kind of stuck out wrestling for Stevens?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely the Claprods. Casey Claprod was a little bit younger, so I actually got to watch him wrestle and stuff. But the best part about him was his in-the-room wrestling. So there were some guys who were good wrestlers, but when he was in the room, he kept the intensity high, and he was a hard worker. So he was somebody we all look up to, I think. So, yeah.
And then is Logan still at Minot?
Yep, he's still at Minot.
So
why don't you tell people who Logan is for people who are just kind of watching?
Sorry, I
maybe
apologize.
Don't know.
Oh, yeah, Logan.
Yeah, Landen.
Yeah, Logan is my twin brother, and he wrestles up at Minot State. So, yeah, that's who he is.
Like, I got to ask, I'm sure this is the most annoying question, but have you guys ever tried, like, are you guys close enough to where you get mistaken for each other?
Oh, yeah, all the time. We get mistaken for each other.
Like, have you ever, like, gone to each other's classes or something?
No, I don't feel like we look enough alike to do that, unfortunately. Never tried it.
Dang it. We actually do have a comment. Your coach who's watching here just said Wyatt Turnquist just earned himself a special wrestling practice this year. I am the Storm.
I knew that was coming.
So you better watch out. Zeke's ready for you.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, so Landen, with your brother at Minot, I mean, are you guys gearing up for a nice little future college matchup, or
I'm open.
How's that going?
I'm looking for it. I thought it was going to happen this year at some opens, but it didn't quite happen. So I look forward to it.
And
we'll
you guys still train quite a bit together?
Oh, yeah.
Did your brother run into any wolves this year?
Oh, he has a bad record with some wolves, so I wouldn't think he would even want to wrestle us anymore.
Oh gosh. All right, Caden, let's move up to you. Tell everybody, even I think some of the Wolves, wrestling fans may not. You had kind of a unconventional senior high school. Want to tell us a little bit about your training at Legends of Gold and kind of the route you took?
Yeah. So after finishing my junior year of high school, I was really looking forward to wrestling in college, but I knew I wasn't at any of that tier where I could compete at any level such as college. and I really appreciated the arts of freestyle and Greco. So I was actually asked by Legends of Gold Wrestling Academy. They had this program called the IDA. It was a really beneficial opportunity for me because I got to wrestle at the Olympic Training Center. I wrestled with some great coaches, Cody Pack, Jesse Tilkey, Terry Pack, of course. And then I actually have a great mentor by the name of Joshua Nolan, who used to be an assistant coach at Northern. And I learned a lot of great things up there. You know, I think the biggest thing I learned was just to keep my nose at the grindstone and just keep working hard. And I grew up in a great family background where you have to work hard to get everything. Nothing is earned or deserved, you know. And so Legends fit hand in hand with me. And then we traveled overseas, we wrestled in the Netherlands, and we wrestled Greco all the time and freestyle. So it was nice, but like it was cool just being able to like jump levels and like being able to try to compete with these guys at the college level. It's just the biggest piece about it, which was awesome.
I got a quick question about kind of some international wrestling here. So when you travel overseas and wrestle, is wrestling culture there similar to what you guys experience over here, or what are kind of some of the similarities or differences between, you know, things you noticed while traveling and wrestling?
Well, actually, like overseas, like wrestling is like top tier, like pivotal sports up there. It's they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're like worshipped, but like if you're a wrestler in a country and you're a good one, then you can do a lot of good things, you know. I wrestled with some kids that were about the same age as me, and I asked them, you know, like, what's high school like? You know, what's your education? And most of the time, well, we don't go to high school. We do wrestling school. And I said, what's a wrestling school? Well, we wrestle every day. We don't go to school. We maybe read an hour out of the day, and then we just wrestle. That's all we do is just wrestle all the time. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool seeing stuff like that. I mean, like even like Burroughs and Taylor, they always talk about they love going overseas because like foreigners love wrestlers. They love the USA. No matter how much they say they hate us, they actually really do love us. Like Iran, everyone around us loves to see the USA wrestling and everything like that. It's pretty cool.
And I know our conference is, I mean, tough across the board. 49 seems to be especially tough, especially the last few years. Who, since you've been in college, would you say your toughest opponent's been? Who did you come off the mat with and go, oh man?
Obviously, I've had this conversation a lot, and it's Kyle Rathbun from Minnesota State Mankato. I mean, the kid, you know, everyone always thinks, you know, Plesky, you know, he wins all the time. He knows how to win close matches, but I've never been like physically exhausted in adherence by any other competition in the conference besides Kyle Rathbun. He comes at you and he keeps the pressure on you. It's a tough competitor, but it's something you really learn from. It's something really exciting to learn from, you know.
We have a fan question here. I don't know. I believe it's probably directed at Caden. It's from Bill Holton, and he wants to know: is there anyone more irritating to wrestle than Billy Holton?
I definitely would not. It's not the fact that Billy is annoying. It's the fact that Billy just won't give up. No matter how bad you have Billy beat, he will find a way just to grab something and just to make it more work than it needs to be.
And it's tough because he'll have an elbow brace and it'll just be all up in your face, and then you can't do anything.
He has a bionic arm. He elbows you in the face. He's like, "What happened? I'll wait. I'll come back and I'll have everything in my face." And if Billy's watching this, Billy, you better hope you don't have that arm anymore. It's gonna be a lot different now.
Hey, Caden, you know, some of the people who are watching, you know, obviously it's probably a lot of wrestling fans, but maybe just for the Northern fans in general, or any of you really, could give us a quick breakdown on, you know, what are the differences between Greco and freestyle for those of the viewers that maybe aren't as knowledgeable on wrestling?
Yeah, obviously, like freestyle, like when you're looking at different styles of wrestling, like folk style is more of a long-term wrestling. You know, you wrestle 3 periods and there's no breaks in between. But freestyle is, so obviously freestyle, there's different point scoring. There's no bottom position. I mean, obviously when you get taken down, you're on bottom, but there's no getting out from under anyone or anything like that. Once you're on bottom, you're on the ground for 10 seconds unless someone turns you. And then when you're not on the ground for 10 seconds, then you're back up and you're wrestling again. And it's more scoring, which is the reason why I like freestyle a lot, because you can score a lot of more scenarios. There's more there's more high risk scenarios you can do. And then obviously like Greco is probably the biggest difference between those three styles. You can't touch the legs in any way. And so all of it is upper body ties and learning how to throw and do a lot of extra things. But also a lot of people dislike Greco because it seems boring, but in the scenarios when the wrestling is good, it's probably one of the most like high intensity wrestling you can ever see. And it's a different eye that you have to look for.
Makes a lot of sense. It sounds like it's maybe one of those things where, people who really know a lot about wrestling and are kind of connoisseurs of the sport can really appreciate it for what it is. But maybe if you don't know as much about wrestling, it's a little bit harder to appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's go back down to Marcus. Now, you came off a junior college runner-up finish, correct?
Yeah.
So you obviously had a lot of success there. What was, I asked Wyatt, similar question. What was your transition like to Division II? Was there not really much of a transition, a lot of the same tournaments, or did you feel like the level of competition was higher and you had to elevate a little bit, or give us a breakdown?
Yeah, I'd probably say, like Wyatt said, the competition was higher. Like, even in JUCO, you can't really underestimate everybody. But there are some kids, that probably shouldn't be wrestling in college in JUCO. But at the D2 level, especially in this conference, you can't underestimate anybody that you step on the mat with. But what I would say is, for me, the biggest adjustment was now, like, coming into this year, people actually knew who I was. Like going into my second year in JUCO, I hadn't done anything really in wrestling before then. So I was kind of a dark horse going into the national tournament. But coming into this year, like, I came off an All-American finish. Like, I started off the first half of the year really, really well. So it was kind of hard adjusting to people when they were scouting for me, where I'm used to, being the one who's scouting for the other person,
Not going to catch anybody off guard anymore. And then we've done a lot of this in past episodes, or a couple past episodes, talked about multi-sport athletes a little bit. I know you've got a background in football. Kind of talk about how you think those two have helped each other, what your football career was like, kind of what position you played, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So initially I started playing football when I was a kid, around 4th grade, and I played park board all the way up until right before high school, and then I stopped, mostly because I wanted to coach flag football, and I stopped. I didn't really want to work hard like that, But then once high school hit, I kind of started to miss it again because I didn't play my freshman year. And then sophomore year hit, and I got on the football team, and then was just, a rotation guy until probably my senior year. And then I had a pretty good year at receiver. And then that led me a spot at Augsburg University, my first year at college. Not that many people know that my first year out of high school, I went to Augsburg and played football there. So I think they've helped. I never played defense, really. I was a safety, but I didn't like getting hit or hitting people, really. So it didn't really help with physicality. But I'd say because I was a receiver, it helped with my hand-eye coordination and, like, footwork. Just less brute of the strengths when it comes to football, So, yeah, I think it does help.
Awesome. I got one last rapid-fire question here. We'll do a real quick around the horn. Rocky says there's one go left in practice. Who's you're dog tired. It's the end of the week. Who's the last guy you want to see stand across from you because you just know he's going – it's probably, from what Caden said, it's probably Billy for him, but because you just know he's going to make you work until the practice is over. Let's go fast. Caden, who's yours?
Kenny Jones. Kid never got – you know how much I tried to put on him. He could never get tired. It was like the worst thing ever.
Wyatt, who you got?
Caden Moore.
I like it. Landen.
Wyatt.
Marcus.
Say Diego.
I can see that. All right, now Rock, with these guys, what's your guys' practice structure like? Do you guys taper off towards the end of the week? Now that I was talking about difficult practices, kind of what's your guys' weekly practice like on a normal dual week?
Yeah, I mean, for us, and not only dual week, but just kind of depends on the time of the season or whatever. I guess we kind of work backwards when we plan it out. So, like, if we have a duel on a Friday night. Like at 3:30, we'll come in. We'll get a half-hour light workout in just so these guys can make weight. So that's the day of. Thursday or the day before, we'll go about 45-minute go, and it's always structured the same way. They just know they're going to go through these routines, and then they can get whatever they want to get afterwards. No live wrestling. 2 days out, I think we go about an hour with one match, and then we just build, the time a little bit more from there. So like Monday or Tuesday is probably going to be like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And, the practice can vary depending on as far as like what techniques we're working on. Typically one of those days will go longer goes, and one of the other days will go more shorter goes. So, and one of the things too, I think it's just been getting to be such a long season. One of the things that we're already talking about building in this year is having a break during that midweek point, probably like taking Wednesdays off from now on. Just train for 2 days, 2 or 3 days, take a break, train 2 or 3 days, take a break, and get these guys a little bit more rest during the season. I mean, they're usually keyed up and ready to go. And if they need more, they can always go in and get extra in with one of the coaches, or all these guys are getting extra work. I mean, especially the guys on this, they're getting in extra workouts on the side too anyways. So they're going to be.
Rocky, do you have a favorite saying as a coach? I know just watching wrestling duels at Northern, I see other coaches, they tend to yell the same thing just 100 times regardless of what's happening. I won't say the team, but there was another team here. They're from North Dakota somewhere, and he just yelled inside ties 100 times, no matter what was happening. Like his guy could be doing well, could be doing poorly, and he was just yelling this no matter what. And maybe I'm ignorant as a I need to learn more about wrestling. But do you have like a go-to?
I think there's probably 50 go-tos that any wrestling coach, if you just started saying this thing, people would just laugh, whether it's, so
I listen.
Yeah, you go to a wrestling tournament and you're going to hear the same all the coaches are going to yell the same probably 50 things. You're going to hear them throughout the day. Get off your back, whatever.
Yeah, I usually just wait and I listen for Austin to say something, and then I just kind of parrot that. So that's my move. But yeah. Or I think when Zach was still here, I think he would just yell things to see if I would follow along, and I don't even think they were wrestling related. He would just yell power half, and maybe that's something, I don't know. But we're going to do kind of one last rapid fire around the horn question here, and then we'll wrap it up here. We'll start with Wyatt. Wyatt, the season's over. You're done cutting weight. You can go back to whatever you want. What's that first postseason meal? What is that? Give us everything. Sides, drink, paint a picture for us here.
Well, I would say it would be Qdoba, but towards the end of the year, I was supposed to gain weight, and I had to drink these time. So I don't know. I have a hard time thinking back to how awful cutting weight was, because I just have to force feed myself all the time now. So I would say Qdoba is probably my favorite though, post weigh-in.
Okay, that's fair. Marcus.
So this is just after season, first meal after season?
Yep, you got nothing to worry about. Just wrapped up your last match, and you can do whatever you want.
I think it would be different though, because if I'm in Aberdeen, I think I'm going to Pounders and I'm getting 3 pounds of wings and I'm putting them all down. But if I'm back home, probably Cane's. Get a Caniac. Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
No coleslaw, double bread. Extra piece of bread.
I could not eat 3 pounds of wings, I'll tell you that much. Caden, what's the postseason meal looking like for you?
A giant stack of French toast. That's just I love French toast.
Huh. Blueberries, or just we're just talking cinnamon, or we're just going straight French toast here?
Syrup, French toast, maybe some bacon on the side if I can get it in.
The classics. Okay, yeah. I love that. Rocky, I know I don't know when's the last time Rocky was on. I know Rocky practices every day, but when you were in competition mode, what's that meal looking like for you?
McDonald's. like quarter pounder with cheese, no pickle, large, supersized fries, supersized Coke. That's still what it is.
At least he didn't lie.
Down to a T.
Oh, that's Austin. I mean, Austin, former wrestler as well. Is that yours? Did he nail it for you?
No, but I just like how he he knew right off the top of his head, like, guarantee, here's what it is. Boom. No pickle.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the
without
whole
even
thing
yeah.
down. Landon, what's
What
yours?
would yours be, Austin? Oh, yeah, go Landen here.
I would be with Marcus. I'd have to say buffalo wings for sure. That's it.
All right. Okay, well, with that, we're kind of closing in on an hour here. So that has been episode 7 of the Wolves Coffee Hour with the wrestling team. Guys, thanks for being on today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking some time. Any parting words of wisdom for the Wolves fans who are watching? Anything you want to pass along to the people who kind of support us and are interested in what you guys got going on?
Yeah, I thought Caden was gonna say something. Like he was really, but I'd say just we're still working. The future is kind of uncertain right now, but no matter what happens in the fall or in the fall, we're gonna be ready. Just excited to get back to work, get back on campus, get back with all the guys. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like Rocky's happy. It sounds like in one way or another, all you guys are getting the necessary work in. So, with that, thank you, gentlemen, for being on today, and we'll get some information out in terms of when our next episode is. It'll be sometime next week. And with that, go Wolves!
Go Wolves!
Go Wolves! Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.